Hey, how you guys doing? If you don't know, my name's Brody, and this is the bike that I built for the 2022 Trasher Bash. I know this is the final update. I wanted to have something cool for you guys. There was a little bit of confusion on my end, I think, for when everything was due, and I was unfortunately sick during some of it, so there was a definite point of time in which I kind of panicked and decided to throw everything together and see if I could get it all done for initial voting. But I had some lofty aspirations of maybe taking this bike on a bike packing trip or doing a solo overnight camping venture. I thought that would be pretty cool, and I'm sure a lot of you would feel the same way. That didn't pan out. There were some setbacks, and without going into too much detail or divulging too much information, there were some personal medical setbacks and things that I've been dealing with that have kind of unfortunately kept me from achieving everything I wanted to do. But at least the bike's here. It's all done. For those of you who are new and just viewing this or just catching up on this competition, this bike did start out as two separate bicycles, and I mean that very literally. This frame is a welded together amalgamation of multiple different bikes, one of which I found in the trash and the other which was pawned off on me. I went ahead and cut them all up, ended up with pieces scattered about the garage, and decided to challenge myself. Put it out there and I said, could I weld something together? Could I fabricate a bike effectively from scratch and have it be workable and useful? And this is what came about. So I started with the bottom bracket shell connected to the down tube, and that was basically it. I cut the head tube out of another bike, welded it to this, welded in a seat tube. I took the rear triangle from a cruiser bike and welded it on. It definitely had some width between, the two the chainstays down there because of the large balloon tires on the cruiser. So I figured, hey, I could make a gravel grinder or something like that and stuff that wheel set in there. Still had to stretch the triangle a little bit, but it worked out pretty good. I had these brakes sitting around, funny enough, from another project, so I welded on a mount for the rear caliper. And tossed the brakes on, it worked out great. This top tube here is actually a motorcycle handlebar. It was a drag bar from a Suzuki, it was a Savage that I had, if I'm not mistaken. And it fit the bill. I needed a piece of metal, and I was too cheap to go buy more because stuff's expensive. So I went ahead and welded that in. It turned out great, it looks awesome, and I'm really happy with it. There's a number of reasons I'm really happy with it, actually. It was a challenge. I'm not the best welder, again, as you can see. This is just the little space that I have. I work in the garage here. I try to do what I can do. Just a home hobbyist. I don't have any experience with bicycle building or frame jigs or any fancy stuff like that. I definitely can't afford that right now. So this is what I was able to create. And looking at it, it's mostly in line, maybe plus or minus a couple degrees. In some happenstance, I think welding it and tack welding it on either side kind of hold it, mostly straight, but we're not going to look too hard at it because it's pretty fun to ride overall. There were definitely a number of setbacks. I blasted through the thin tubing with the good old flux core welder here a number of times, had to go back and patch that up and ended up destroying a lot of stuff in the process. So hey, is what it is, but it's all a learning experience. I had some experience with welding prior, various points at different jobs that I've had, but overall nothing professional. So again, it was kind of a testament to what I felt I could achieve in doing this. So I was able to take the bike out on an anniversary trip with my wife. That was really cool. We went out to Borrego Springs here in California and rode around the desert. It was a ton of fun. The bike held up pretty good, but we dialed it back and kept it pretty easy, for a couple of reasons. One of which being a bit of a medical concern, and kind of some of the reason that the lofty aspirations I might have had for this video here was, kind of ended up more so by the wayside. I was thinking, okay, hey, I'll do an overnight camping video, I'll ride out and I'll do a solo bike venture type thing. It just, life got in the way. That's all I can say. Not going to make excuses past that, but it just wasn't in the cards this time. I'm still interested in doing that though, for sure. And believe me, this bike is going to get a lot of use. It already has. I've been taking it over to the park back and forth and just generally trying to work on my cardio as best as I can. But I think in the end, kind of what I wanted to say here was thank you. And I appreciate everybody's votes and people who didn't vote for it. No worries, it's all good with me. It's all for fun anyway, and frankly, I'm just glad to be a part of this. It's been a lot of fun. I know it's really tied a community together, and it's really brought a lot of us with a collective interest together. We've been able to experience what other people have built. All the competitors have built some really, really cool stuff. And I implore all of you guys to follow up with them. Try to look on the Facebook page that was created, and keep up with where the builders are at, because there were some really cool bikes in this. Some great projects, and I'm glad to have been a part of it, and I do want to say thank you for that. So I'm not going to bore you too long with the static video here. I know this is probably less razzle dazzle than I'm known for doing, but like I said, it's really all I could scrap together for now. But if you are interested in following this or seeing what I do end up doing with it, feel free to check out the Instagram, BDA Cycling. I'm sure that there's maybe a link somewhere. If you go to the builder page on spindat.com, you can find the link there. But yeah, I'll go ahead and post more pictures of this, or what I end up doing, or maybe some other projects that I have kicking around in my head that I really like to finish. And I think this has given me the inspiration I needed to finally pull them out of storage. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for voting. Like I said, don't feel pressured. You don't have to vote for this one if you don't want to. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate it. Hope everybody's well. Keep on keeping on. I don't know, what do people say? How do people end YouTube videos? Generally with threats, right?